Howdy gamers, welcome back to Title Trinity, the challenge series where I'm pushing all paladin roles to the prestigious Mythic Plus season title, given to those who finish within the top 0.1% of the region's player base. This comes with a twist though. I'm only allowed to get role-specific IO on a single character, which means that I need not just one paladin, but 3 paladins. On this journey, we've got Boggy, the Draenei Retribution Paladin. We've got Boggy with a funny O, the Blood Elf Protection Paladin. And we've also got Boggy with another funny O, the Dark Iron Holy Paladin. I'm not very creative, okay? I'm a Paladin main. To make this even harder, characters aren't allowed to abuse the resilient key system, and I'm not allowed to get carried by other players. With the title score increasing every day, the Boggies definitely have their work cut out for them. Here's where we left off the last episode. All of the paladins a fair chunk behind the current title cutoff at the time to varying degrees. But with a lot of motivation, nothing was really going to stop us from forging towards our goals. Right?
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Holy Pally Boggy is starting us out in a plus 16 hauls on probably the hardest pull of the entire dungeon. These little ankle biters will mess people up if they don't die straight away. We're going to send wings really early, just trying to make sure that everyone stays as close to 100% as possible. I think Aura Mastery is going to have to come out pretty soon. This is a pull where we want to send every cooldown ASAP. The momentum rolls into the second boss. We've got 0 deaths with the timer looking extremely good. High Adjudicator Elise goes down with still 0 deaths and a minute 15 faster than a time that was already 3.5 minutes under. And Holy Pally Boggy is smashing through Lord Chamberlain, the final boss, in personal record time, getting a massive 20 IO and putting us at 3350 on the Holy Pal. Now, when you're pugging, finding a cracked group and then running multiple keys is basically the dream. And that's exactly what Holy Pally Boggy is up to at the moment, straight into a plus 16 arrow with the same team. We smash through the heal check on these absolutely vicious blood guards that just murder the entire team. Cruise on past Anubis, the big bug boss. And despite a few deaths throughout the run, we still time the plus 16 arrow very comfortably. Now, the group wants to keep me again. So it's looking like Holy Pally Boggy is just going to motor on up the ranks without anything getting in the way. Time to lock in, I guess. One minute 30, plenty of time. Okay, so maybe not all smooth sailing, but still a couple of really quick timed keys in a row is awesome for the Holy Pally at the moment. But Holy Pally Boggy wouldn't be the only one to see some success. Prop Pally is also sneaking on in and getting some huge gains with 15 IO in a plus 17 Dawnbreaker, bringing us up to 3488. With a bit of tanking confidence under my belt, I head on into a plus 17 Floodgate, which is extremely hard and something that I've bricked plenty of times before, and we're looking solid on Swamp Face. 1 death, decent looking timer. Starting out at the final boss, Gigazap, we have 4.5 minutes left. Not like a free key at this point, but as long as we don't die, we should win easy peasy. And what do you know? In a big part thanks to Castro for absolutely pumping on Warlock this key, we get another plus 15 IO and land us over the 3.5k mark on Propel. All looking pretty positive at the moment, right? Trust me, things are going to change very quickly. Boss, there is no boss, my guy. You gotta kill it. Now, you might be wondering what's even happening here. Well, this is the start of the downfall. What happened in this key is we were cruising along and for some reason, our Mr. Warlock friend here decided that he would be very passive-aggressive and toxic towards the tank, which resulted in multiple people dying and effectively them arguing for a certain part of certain pulls. And lo and behold, we took a shoe-in key and with a bit of toxicity turned it into a brick. Very enjoyable. I mean, no matter. It was just a 16 anyway, right? How about we just time a 17 instead? That'd just make up for all of it. Finishing up the second boss, we're looking a little bit sketchy, people dying, but it's okay. The timer in here is reasonably gentle. We've got about 6 minutes left on the timer here. I'm trying desperately to keep the Demon Hunter alive. He dies here, and he then dies a little bit further down the track as well. I'm not entirely sure what I could do here, but the timer's still okay. We're doing fine. Tragically, we were not doing fine. Looking back, I think I definitely could have been better at healing the Demon Hunter, and we end up losing a key that was 2 key levels above what we'd already done. Was my key, wasn't cheating. And unfortunately brick by a handful of seconds. You might be thinking, a few bricked keys, you know, what do you expect? You're sort of getting up into higher levels now. That's what I thought. So I figured, you know, maybe I'll just go polish off the last 15 I need. We were cruising in this priory, and the tank decided that he would pull 4 packs in the room after the first boss. Could not keep up. People just died left, right, and center. GG key. We go again though. It was resilient, and I think everyone was very demoralized at that stage, and we ended up dying in the same room again. So nice little double brick back to back. At roughly the same time that these bricks were happening, I also noticed that the groups I was trying to get into were taking way longer to fill. So not only was like the quality of my keys going down, but also they were taking forever to actually start up. And then all of a sudden I realized,
not long ago, Retail Mythic Plus existed in Harmony. Then, everything changed when Legion Remix attacked.
from this point onwards, the week just went into a downward spiral. It impacted all 3 paladins. All boggies felt the heat of Legion Remix. However, this run was actually not looking too bad. This was looking very promising as my first 18 to tick off. Until I get absolutely murdered by this pack. What is with this pack? It just destroys you from 100 to 0 out of nowhere. Despite the full wipe, we actually do manage to recover, only for my brain to switch off on this last boss. I was the reason for all these deaths. We were actually going to time this coming into it. I think from this point onwards, this is where my mental just started to plummet. Now, with my mental fortitude on the downward spiral and every nerd and his dog seemingly dropping retail like Andy drops Woody from that Toy Story meme.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
The keys became insanely hard. Not only did the group start to take forever to fill, I swear I became cursed all of a sudden. If something could go wrong in a key, it would go wrong. People would DC like this hunter here. I am not lying when I say that I'm only showing a fraction of the runs from this fortnight. This is one of about 8 different DCs that I basically had keys bricked to. And I know it probably feels like Ret Boggy has been lost amongst all of this chaos, but believe me, she was impacted as well. Missed kicks, just tanks dying, anything that could go wrong seemed to go wrong. And then alongside that, I ended up being like a crack addict looking for IO on the street. It was impossible to fill groups.
Spare IO. Spare IO, ma'am.
Buggy? Buggy, is that you?
Okay, well, if we can't time score keys, surely we can at least time some homework keys, right? Wrong. I legitimately couldn't even time my own homework keys. I almost felt bad doing keys with people because I felt like everything I touched was a deplete. But challenges don't work on themselves, I suppose, so Ret Boggy is into a 17 Eco-Dome. Let's see if we can get some revenge, maybe. Holy heck, we actually do get some revenge. Plus 17 IO, 3460 for Ret Boggy. Let's go. Now this here would be the truest type of revenge. After those 2 cooked Holy Pelly Eco-Domes earlier, getting this knocked over would just bring the week back into the positive by a long margin. And it's looking good too. 1 death, decent looking timer. I think we're onto something here. I guess not. And then we capped off this week with a stream that just perfectly summarizes this entire fortnight worth of pushing. Brick after brick after brick after brick.
Here
No, that's so annoying, man.
2, 1.
Why game hard? Oh. But after literally 3.5 hours of nothing but bricks, we get something over the line, and damn, it felt good. Persistence. Let's go. And with that, we finish off what has been a brutal 2 weeks of pushing. Now, part of this has been that I've corked up some keys. Part of it has just been like a string of absurdly bad luck. And then a big part of it too is that Legion Remix has dragged so many players away from retail. I really hope that unlocking the crests with the turbo boost is enough to get players back into the game. Otherwise, this challenge is going to be really, really tough. In saying that, I guess we're all here for this exact type of content, right? If you enjoy doing keys, this is basically what you have to put up with. I know I sort of doomed on it a little bit for dramatic effect maybe, but like bricks are part of the process and we're just going to plow on through it.
You gotta get in the hospital now. And I just said, just shut up and let me enjoy this pain.
On that note, thanks for hanging out. If you want to support the channel, check out channel memberships. They're as low as $1. Just click the join button below, or come watch me stream some of my many bricks and hopefully sometimes on Twitch. Otherwise, until next time, gamers, take care.